So here are the different forms of psychic attacks. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but these are the ones that I came up with. Intrusive thoughts. We've talked about that many times before. Random, extreme, violent, messed up thoughts that are not your own. For me, what I've noticed especially would be like, it used to happen all the time as a kid. Luckily, now it doesn't happen as much, if not at all. But when it does happen, it's usually like when I'm driving on the highway. It doesn't happen often, luckily. But it's like, oh, what if you just drove into traffic? Oh, what if you just drove off this bridge, right? Oh, what if you just hit the median or whatever? And this is actually where OCD tendencies come from. So the example in OCD would be, oh, what if the germs on your hands could kill you? So then you start washing your hands for 2 hours, right? So the obsession is the intrusive thought. The compulsion is the need or the action to do something about it. All right. So intrusive thoughts are probably the number one form of psychic attack that we've all experienced, I'm going to assume. And then the dreams, right? So attacks through dreams. They can set up whole dreamscapes. They can manipulate. They can twist. As I've mentioned before, I've noticed that, entities and what have you have attacked the people who follow me in their dreams to say, don't trust Elizabeth April. She's not to be trusted. She's Illuminati or working with the dark side. And then you wake up and you're like, oh my goodness, my profound dream told me not to trust Elizabeth April. It must be true because I listen to my dreams. So you wouldn't even think of having discernment in your own dreams. And that's the problem, right? So it's pretty crazy. And then also like energetic or psychic attacks are entities or reps coming through portals, popping into your reality through portals is also something that I've definitely noticed as possible. So many of you in the past month, especially based on the portal activation, which kind of just opened a discussion about it all. So many of you have been explaining that a portal was open above your bed. Okay, a portal was open above your bed. We had a portal open above our bed like a couple nights ago. So you're not far off in thinking that, in feeling that, in knowing that, and in not being able to get any sleep for like 3 days. And being sleep deprived that's no laughing matter. Like that's a very serious thing. So I'm going to tell you all about how to close all of that stuff. And then, like I mentioned before, following us from the astral, and from doing our energy work. They can follow us from out there back into our body, or they can even just follow your grounding cord back into your current position, which was really wild. And what else? And then just fights, just in general, like fighting in the astral is quite common. I've had a lot of battles in the astral. So like back in the day, when I was in university, I remember getting attacked a lot. And anytime I felt weird or icky or being watched, especially the feeling of being watched or followed, I would close my physical eyes, I would open my third eye, and I would see, like I could literally see the entities hiding under chairs or behind a fridge or whatever. And then I would go after them. And this is actually when I discovered my shadow dragon. I don't know much about this topic, so I've never really talked about it. But there's a concept, there's many concepts, but there's a concept called shadow workers, okay, which are souls who walk the line of the light and the dark. And a lot of shadow workers have shadow beings that work with them. That it could be anything. It could be a panda bear, it could be a giraffe, it could be an eagle, right? That's a shadow being that works with you to fight dark entities. What a lot of us actually have are dragons. What I've heard a lot of you ask me about, and I don't know much about, that's why I don't answer, is about dragons. So my only understanding of dragons at this point in time, which is very, very limited, is just what I know, which is I was fighting these entities. There was like 4 or 5 of them in my apartment many years ago. And I was fighting them with my light weapons and whatever. And all of a sudden this giant dragon comes out of nowhere. But the way that I interpreted it or perceived it was like it reminded me of like a Chinese dragon. It was super, super, super long. And it had this huge, like cool dragon head. It wasn't like the fire breathing ones. Anyway, and it came through and it looked dark. It was a dark, like almost like a black, but like shadowy dragon. And I just intuitively knew I had this giant white light sword, and I hopped on the back of this shadow dragon, and we were chasing these beings, these entities around my apartment, and this shadow dragon was eating the beings, the entities, right? And I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. And so I've worked with the shadow dragon before after that. I haven't really had a need to be honest. It was so much fun. And I even got a name for my shadow dragon, which I don't recall now. But yeah, so a lot of you are probably light warriors. And a lot of you were with me during the portal activation and transmutation in Serbia, in Russia.